a follow-up video to the clotted cream. So I've got some clotted cream left. Clotted cream left. I gave half to my mum and she shared it with one of her friends. I had a little bit. It was very nice. But I don't kind of want to eat anymore. And I kind of thought, well, let's have a go. Let's see if we can remelt it, and let's see if we can turn it into a posset. So, for the sake of interest, we'll see what happens to the if the crust remelts back into it. So it's softened a little bit as the crust. It might remelt back into it. So, I want to see if that happens, because if I don't do it now, I won't kind of know. So there's a little bit of water in this pan. We need to calculate how much. I have to do this off camera because my board's a bit wobbly, and the scales won't do a proper reading on my wobbly board. So let's see how much clotted cream we've got. I don't want to, I mean, I suppose I could just eat it. The clotted cream, it's very nice. I had it with a scone at my mum's house and it was lovely. But let's just, if I don't get this out of my head about trying to make a posset out of it, I'll end up having to make more clotted cream, or kind of have to buy some and then kind of make some more. So where are we? What we've got to scrape off. So we've got 128 grams. So there's a little bit of water in the pan, which obviously will dilute the clotted cream just a little bit. But you need to kind of put a little bit of water in the pan. There's a danger that the cream wants to stick to the bottom of the pan. So that's 140 grams right. So let's have a melt gently. Let's see what happens. I'll get myself a spatula ready. Out the washing up bowl, because I've been just creating washing up all day. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know where all the washing up comes from. I don't know really where it comes from. So heat gently. I suppose it would be better in a bain-marie. Maybe. That's an idea, isn't it? The direct heat. Right, that's what I'll do. So I'll get another pan, slightly bigger, like that, and then, because I'm concerned that it's gonna burn on the bottom of the pan with direct heat from the pan. I don't want to put it in the microwave because it might burn. So we'll do the bain-marie method. So slightly bigger pan. I'll fill it full of water and put that pan in that pan, and it'll be a gentler heat. We don't need to boil. We don't need to boil the. Let's just have a go. Are we just creating work for myself? Probably. We'll keep it moving. There's only a small amount. I think that top might just melt back into it. So yeah, so if I was to use a bain-marie, if it was a larger amount, a bain-marie, what would happen it diffuses the heat so it doesn't burn on the bottom. It looks like it's slightly split, like we've got some fat crystals. So with the lemon posset, we have to simmer the cream for 5 minutes, which I suppose slightly reduces the cream in volume and makes it a little bit richer. But as this clotted cream is reduced cream already, we don't need to do that. So we can basically heat it up, add the sugar, and then add some lemon juice and pour it into a container and kind of see what happens. So I'll have to work out how much lemon juice and how much sugar as this slowly melts, which the blends are a little bit old, but they should do the purpose. We won't put any. My thumbnail's still stained from slow berries. So we'll use this one. We'll use this lemon. I won't put any zest in because that zest's not going to be worth eating. And we're only faffing around. So this is just a bit of an experiment. So I'll pause. I'll get out my calculator, and then we'll kind of work out how much lemon juice for that amount of cream. Probably half a lemon. It's slightly split. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see, but the fat is slightly split out of the cream, which is probably what the top is. Yeah, so it's probably a little bit crunchy because of that. But it looks like the crunchy top, the skin has melted back into it, so we don't need to strain it. Anyway, I'll pause, I'll work out what I need to do, because it looks like it's melting, and we should be okay. Right, so, cream's coming up to temperature. I don't think it's going to work, it's split. But we'll see how we go. So there's about, what did I say? There's 140 grams worth of cream, there's about 35 grams worth of sugar. So we'll heat the sugar so it melts into the cream. And then it'll be there's a pouring the lemon juice in and pour it into a container. And there is what was lemon juice? Was there about 28 grams worth of lemon juice. So, see, I didn't need to do a double boiler, bamboo type of thing to heat up. I just needed to be gentle. So it's slightly curdled. It's slightly split. You can see there's like globules of fat on the top of it. So I don't think bring it up to the boil is going to do it any harm. Oh, very interesting watching me boil cream, isn't it? Right, that'll do. Let's let it just cool slightly. Shall we get the stick blender in there? Yeah, let's get the stick blender in that, see if anything happens. Stick blender. Creating more washing up. I see, that's where my washing up comes from, isn't it? And then work stretch. Maybe. Might go everywhere. Do you know, it'll probably work better if I was going to make it into a creme brulee, because the egg would help to bind it all together if you're making a custard. So, right, that's all right. Heat's definitely off, isn't it? Yes. So in there quickly with that. And then into there, or into that one. Into there. Let's not create washing up. Oh, just enough. It's a miracle. Looks like it's going to be thick. We'll give it a taste. I'll lick the spatula and then we'll have an idea of if it works. So, expensive to buy clotted cream, expensive to make it, but I once remember it was a cabbage accompaniment to a dish, and we reduced cream down to thicken it, put it in a pan, heated it, and then simmered it until it reduced, and then added it to the cabbage, so it was like creamy cabbage. It was really nice. So I think potentially you could boil the cream and reduce it down in the pan gently. You know, you wouldn't have to put it in the oven for 12 hours or overnight. But anyway, how's it taste? Very creamy. Very creamy. That's lovely. So, I think this is going to work. We'll let it set and then we'll see what happens. Won't waste that. It's a bit ropey, is that? Am I going to do anything with lemons over the next few days? I don't know. I might just that'll go into something, and then we'll kind of see what I'll do with that. Anyway, we'll see what that's like when it's cool later on. We've had 24 hours in the fridge. It's certainly set, and I think it'll be a lot. it's a lot firmer than the normal posset, which is understandable. It's a thicker cream, so therefore, of course, it's going to be thicker. Did I make it with single cream? I did. I made a posset with single cream, I remember, and it kind of, which single cream has got, well, pouring cream, single cream, has got a lower fat content than whipping cream, and an even lower fat content than double heavy cream. So that's kind of quite understandable. So, and then obviously clotted cream has an even higher fat content of all the creams because you evaporate off the water. So it's going to be more rich and luxurious. Do I think it's worth it long term to do it into a posset? No, because I think you get a nice enough posset by just using like a double heavy cream. I wonder if it's called double because it has double the amount of fat in it as single cream, pouring cream. Probably. That's probably why it's called double. But anyway, so I don't actually think it's worth. I'm talking before I've eaten it. I don't actually think it's worth doing it in a posset. It probably is worth doing it if you're making creme brulees. I think it would make a ridiculously rich and creamy creme brulee. So let's have a look. Oh yeah, that's certainly a lot more. That's certainly a lot firmer. It hasn't split. Oops. It hasn't kind of split. So there's no kind of layer of what we call two-tone layers, which is how you can tell. You'd find that like that top layer there would be a different colour than the bottom, and the top would be firmer than the bottom. That's kind of how you know if it's split. It doesn't really matter if things split if you want me to call it, if you're cooking it for yourself. Good God. Yeah, well that's seriously luxurious. That's delicious. So, my thoughts are, apart from being absolutely delicious, and maybe I shouldn't eat any more of that, if you're wanting to up your posset game, then use clotted cream, or reduce the liquid in your clotted cream. I suppose it might work in a dehydrator rather than working in the oven. That's an experiment. I haven't got a dehydrator. I'm not going to faff around with buying a dehydrator to do that kind of thing. Might do in the future, but they look kind of quite expensive. But anyway, I'm getting away from the subject. So, I think, how do I put this? I think most people's expectations, they wouldn't kind of notice the difference. So like a normal posset made with double cream would be perfect for the majority of people. But if you really wanted to, if someone really knew their food and you wanted to impress them, then I'd use clotted cream. And the same with a creme brulee as well, or a creme caramel, or anything like that. If you wanted to really take something up to the next level, I'd use clotted cream. Expensive way of doing it, expensive way even if you're going to do it yourself, but it's one of those little things that you do in. I've been faffing with sugar, and it's sugar syrup is everywhere. It's just sticky. So yeah, so it's generally little things that you do in the kitchen that make like a world of difference. So one of those little things would be like excessive amounts of butter make a little bit of a difference. Will make a lot of a difference. You know, the right amount of salt, cooking things for a little bit longer and a little bit of a slower temperature, using clotted cream in a creme brulee or a posset or a creme caramel instead of just a double cream makes the world of difference. It's just that type of, those type of little differences, and those 10 or 15 of those little differences elevate food to that next level. You know, like using a better quality wine. Like you can use cheap wine in cooking, but you could use a really good quality wine and you'd get a better kind of result. And it's just those little things, you know, like better quality vanilla. If you just used, you can buy, well, you used to be able to buy a vanilla pod for about £1, but then you can buy better quality vanilla pods for maybe £2.50. And on its own, would you notice a difference? Probably not. But you know, if you did a few other things as well, then it would take a dish from being very good to exceptional. And that's generally the difference between good food and really good food, you know. And in the same way, it's the difference between rubbish food and good food. There isn't that much difference, you know. You've still got to, there's still time involved, and just a little bit more care and a little bit more attention to detail generally turns rubbish food into good food. And then the difference between good food and exceptional food is a little bit more work and a little bit more thought. But anyway, I'm waffling, and I'm going to resist having more of that.